Hello. Okay, so get a marker pen. Lesson 17, which will probably be the final lesson. I might do a lesson next week, which is for a little bit about conversation strategy. Actually, I'll probably do that tomorrow because of things are changing very quickly at the moment. So today we're on lesson 17, and we're talking about in Interchange book we're on page 78. So we're talking about giving advice. Okay, so asking for and giving advice. So maybe when you have a problem, let's talk about a problem. Start with a problem, and if you have a problem, what you can do is you can ask for advice. And advice in Korean, I think, is chunggo. And then the other person gives advice. I'll give advice. So, what could be an example of this? What could be a problem? Let's talk about a health problem. So it's winter, and it's very cold. So usually at the beginning of winter, I always catch a cold. 감기 걸었어요. So my problem would be I have a cold. I have a cold. What should I do? And then for the advice, it could be, okay, so I have a cold is the problem, and ask for advice, what should I do? And then for the advice, we usually have an activity here, and we can, in front of the advice, we can just say you should, and then the verb. Plus object. So I have a cold, what should I do? You should, something like that. Okay, so let's say for advice, you should see a doctor. Okay, you should see a doctor. 병원. not 병원. You should see a doctor, or you should visit a doctor. That's very strong advice. You know, it's only a small problem, so maybe what other advice could I do if I have a cold? See a doctor. No, I'm going to change that. See a doctor. It's too much. Too much. You should take some medicine. You should take some medicine. So medicine. In English, in Korean you say 약 먹다, but in English we don't say 약 먹다. We don't say eat medicine. We say take medicine. Okay, so you should take medicine. Or you should take some medicine. What else could I have here? You should drink some gulmul. You should drink some. You should drink some hot tea or lemon tea. Lemon tea is good, isn't it? You should drink some lemon tea. And last one should be you should go to bed. You should go to bed. Okay, so I have a cold. What should I do? You should take some medicine. You should drink some lemon tea. You should go to bed. Okay, so yep, problem. I have a cold. Ask for advice. What should I do? Give advice. You should take some medicine or drink some lemon tea or go to bed. And sometimes we say you should. But we also change it. Kind of like give a suggestion. So I could say. Why don't you? Why don't you? Okay, so I have a cold. What should I do? Why don't you take some medicine? Why don't you drink some lemon tea? Why don't you go to bed? Okay. Another thing we say is it's a good idea. It's a good idea to take some medicine, drink some lemon tea, go to bed. Okay, so we have quite a lot of expressions like you should or it's important to. It's important to. It's a how about this kind of thing. Okay, so this is the basic structure of what we're doing. Problem, ask for advice, and give advice. Okay, so if you look in your books, we are on chapter 12 on page 78. And it says that it's important to get rest. It's important to get rest. So if we look at page 78, first thing we have a few health problems on snapshot number 1. So the first one is a headache. The second one is a cough. Then we have a cold. Then we have the flu. Then we have a stomach ache. A backache. Sore muscles and insomnia. Okay, so a headache, headache. A cough is easy. A cold is easy. The flu is dokam. Okay. No, nobody wants the flu. The 2020 flu. Nobody wants that one. Terrible. Okay, a stomach ache is beapayo. A backache, horiga apayo. Sore muscles. So this is, muscles. We talked about muscular. So kunyok yapayo. And the last one there is insomnia. So insomnia is when you can't sleep very well. Okay, you're trying to sleep, but you can't sleep. All right. Okay, so there's some health problems. And what do you do? What do you do for your health problems? Okay, so I have a headache. I have a headache. What should I do? I have a headache. Maybe you should take a rest, or you should take a rest, or why don't you take some medicine, or it's a good idea to listen to some relaxing music. I have a cough. What should I do? You should take some cough medicine, or you should drink some honey. Okay. You should stop smoking. It's a very good idea to stop smoking if you have a cough. I have a cold. We did this one. The flu. The flu. Dokam. If you have the flu, what should you do? I think if you have the flu, it's a good idea to get lots of rest, and you should drink a lot of water. You should drink a lot of water if you have the flu, and just stay in bed and go, oh, terrible. I hate the flu. So I have a stomach ache. What should I do? I have a stomach ache. What should you do if you have a stomach ache? I don't know. You should go to the bathroom. You should drink some water. Why don't you drink some water? If you have a backache, what should you do? So also with a backache, we can also say we can also say you shouldn't. You shouldn't. So I have a backache. What should I do? You shouldn't pick up heavy things. Okay. Or you should avoid picking up heavy things. You should avoid exercise. Okay, I have sore muscles. What should I do? You should get a massage. You should get a shoulder massage. Or why don't you get some acupuncture? Why don't you get some acupuncture? I didn't know acupuncture. Acupuncture is I never had acupuncture. This is an English word, and because in England it is not so popular, but acupuncture is very popular in Korea because acupuncture is chim. Okay, so I have experienced chim acupuncture, and I liked it. I thought it was good. It seems to work to me. And last one is insomnia. Oh, so much advice you could give for insomnia, I think. So what should you do with insomnia? Okay, I think it's a good idea to go to bed at the same time every night. It's a good idea. You shouldn't drink coffee. You shouldn't drink coffee a few hours before bedtime. If not, you stay awake. You should drink some warm milk. You should drink warm milk, and you should listen to relaxing music before you go to bed. Yeah, there are so many things to cure for insomnia. All right, okay. So underneath there, we have our first conversation, and you can see two people. One is the girl is called Miller, and the man is called Keith, and they are at the gym. Okay, so first of all, I would like you to read it, and just read it quietly to yourself. And where you think there is some maybe intonation, some stress on the word, just put a little dot there, and then I will read it with natural intonation and see if my intonation goes up where you just put a dot. Okay, so just quickly read it and put a few dots there. Okay, so I'm going to read it. Are you alright, Ken? Not really. I don't feel so well. I have a terrible cold. Oh, that's too bad. You shouldn't be at the gym then. Yeah, I know. But I need to run for an hour every day. Not today, Keith. It's really important to get some rest. It's really important to get some rest. Yeah, you're right. I should be in bed. Well, yeah. And have you taken anything for your cold? No, I haven't. What should I take? Well, you know, pain medicine, lots of water. Sometimes it's helpful to drink garlic tea. Ugh. So garlic tea recipe. Just chop up some garlic and boil it for a few minutes. Then add lemon and honey. Try it. It really works. Yuck. That sounds awful. Yeah, that really does sound awful. Okay, so again, as I said to you always, and you're coming up to your final exam now, so look at the conversations carefully and look at how they, the rhythm of the conversations. You notice in the conversations, you will notice when you look at these conversations, sometimes the speaker is short, and sometimes they are long. Okay, so it's short, long, short. Okay, the speaking isn't always the same length every time. Okay, let's go on to page 79. Okay, so here we have the question. 여러분 잘 듣고 따라하세요. What should you do for a cold? It's important to get some rest. What should you do for a cold? It's sometimes helpful to drink garlic tea. What should you do for a cold? It's a good idea. Oh, this is my one. It's a good idea to take some vitamin C. Okay. So here we have problems and here we have advice. Okay, so advice is 충고. So we have 8. We have 8 problems, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of advice. So one problem can have more than one one advice. Okay, so maybe just put like 1 or 2 or 3 letters next to each problem. Okay, so the first one is a backache. Okay, a backache. What should you do for a backache? Okay, number 2, what should you do for a headache? Number 3, what should you do for a burn? Number 4, what should you do for a cough? Number 5, what should you do for a fever? Number 6, what should you do for the flu? Number 7, what should you do for a sore throat? And number 8, what should you do for a toothache? What should you do for a toothache? Okay. So just give you a little few seconds there to put your letters on next to the number. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, so what should you do for a backache? I think you should have maybe B, E, put the heating pad. Oh yeah, put a heating pad on it. H, yeah, see a doctor. And I, maybe I, take some pain medicine. So that's number 1 you could have. What should you do for a headache? B, C, maybe I. What should you do for a burn? You know, that's when a burn is a hasa. Yeah. What should you do for a burn? Put it under cold water, definitely. D, yeah, if you have a burn, as soon as possible, put it under cold water. What should you do for a cough? Oh, a burn, what else can you do? Take some pain medicine. Yeah, burn is very painful, isn't it? What should you do for a cough? Drink lots of liquids. Maybe take some vitamin C, you could do. What should you do for a fever? What should you do for a fever? Drink lots of water, lots of liquids. B, get some medicine. C, go to bed and rest. J, take some vitamin C. What should you do for, the flu? So a fever's yol, right? Yeah. I think the same as the fever. I think the flu and the fever is kind of the same. What should you do for a sore throat? Drink lots of liquid. Take some vitamin C. What should you do for a toothache? Oh, see a dentist. G. Maybe I. Take some pain medicine. Yeah. Okay.